$2 only this one. Wow, so expensive wa, cannot le. Even before visiting Singapore and meeting some of the Singaporeans in the world's largest floating book fair that Lugos hosts. Many years ago, I am aware that Singaporeans are known to be quick. But when I was there, I really observed that it's not only how they do things that are fast, also about how they speak. Join me today as I share something about one of the English variants, the Singaporean English. We are going to learn about how the English language reached Singapore, the two forms of the English language. First, the Singapore Standard English or the SSE. Second, the Singapore Colloquial English or the SCE or simply Singlish. The pronunciation, intonation, sample terms, and all of these things. Just like how the Americans influence us Filipinos how we speak, it's also the British people who influence the Singaporeans how they speak. Imagine, for 144 years, Singapore was once a Britain's colony. Having said that, the Singaporeans embrace RP or the received pronunciation or the British language as one of their languages. It is actually their main language, even after their independence from the Britain's colonization. These are the three reasons why the Singaporean government did that. First, English is a language of commerce and business, so knowing English gives them a leg up in the job market. Second is English is the language of education, so speaking it fluently gives them a better access to education. The third reason is English is the language of international communication, so speaking allows them to communicate with the rest of the world. Now let's talk about the two forms of the English language in Singapore. First, the Singapore Standard English or the SSE. Second is the Singapore Colloquial English or the SCE or simply Singlish. Now I would like you to take a look at this picture that would somehow explains to us the differences between the SSE and the SCE. The Singapore Standard English or SSE is the official language in Singapore, while the Singapore Colloquial English or SCE or simply Singlish is an unofficial language there in Singapore. SSE is used in writing, education, and other formal situations. On the other hand, Singlish is used in daily life with friends, to children, and informal situations. SSE is indistinguishably grammatical from standard British English, while Singlish is a non-standard English language that incorporates elements of Mandarin, Malay, and Tamil. These are actually the other languages in Singapore. SSE is said to be acrolect and mesolect, while Singlish is baselect. SSE acts as the bridge among the different ethnic groups in Singapore and retains the British spelling and grammar. SSE doesn't have significant and consistent difference from the features of Standard British English or SBE. Aside from being an acrolect, it is also said as a mesolect. It means that SSE has some features distinct from SBE. For example, when you ask, "May I ask where's the toilet?" So the question tenses is an indirect form. Also, indefinite article deletion or copula absence. For example, "May I apply for car license?" instead of saying "a car license." So notice the omission of the article a. And lastly, this features the lack of marking in verb forms. For example, "He always go to the shopping center," instead of "goes" because he is singular. English. It is a native language of Singapore. It is spoken by all Singaporeans regardless of their ethnic background. And here are the three reasons why Singlish is the native language of Singapore. First, Singlish is the language of everyday communication in Singapore. Second, it is the language of Singaporean identity. Third, Singlish is the language of Singaporean culture. Singlish is considered as baselect. It means to say that "is it" tag question is emphasized. For example, "You coming today, is it?" It has copula deletion consistency, like "My handwriting no good lah." And the use of particles like a, la, etc. like, wait hurry la, I need to go now. 95% of Singaporeans' population speaks English natively. The government claims that 92% of citizens speak English well enough to get by, with 91% claiming to have no problems communicating in writing either. During this portion, you can watch a clipped video about the Singapore English pronunciation that are categorized into four: monophthongs, diphthongs, consonants, slang, stress, and intonation.
There's a lack of distinction between long and short vowels in Singapore English, producing a simplified vowel system. So, a phrase like, the rich man bought a good German car, in Singapore is likely to be pronounced, the rich man bought a good German car. The A and O diphthongs are pronounced as monophthongs in Singapore English. So, a phrase like, the place to go, in Singapore is likely to be pronounced, the place to go. There's significant TH stopping in Singapore English, which means the th and th sounds are replaced by the t and d sounds. There's also significant L vocalization, which means the dark L is replaced by a back-rounded vowel sound. And there's significant T glottalization, which means the air is stopped in the throat when the t sound appears at the end of words or between vowels. So, a phrase like, I'd better call my mother, in Singapore is likely to be pronounced, I'd better call my mother. Final consonant clusters are also reduced by removing the final consonant. And final voiced consonants are often completely devoiced. So, a phrase like, his friend is kind, in Singapore is likely to be pronounced, his friend is kind. Finally, there are lots of words and phrases unique to Singapore English, most of which come from Singlish, a Creole language which forms part of a continuum with standard Singapore English. For example, la has many meanings, but is generally used to soften the impact of a word or phrase. Ayo is used as an exclamation. Siao means crazy. Sian can mean bored, tired, or defeated. And walau is used to indicate shock or surprise. Singapore English also lacks vowel reduction, producing a syllable-timed rhythm. And there may be unique intonation patterns as a result of influence from the speaker's native language. So, in Singapore, you might hear something like, Ayo, dis klasi so sian la? Walau, ayu siau la?
Ready for some SAP exercises? Let's get started. The first pronunciation drill has something to do with the SAP monophthongs. Here you can see one table with 3 columns. The first column has the pair of words. The second column is the standard English, how you read this one using the standard English. And the Singlish equivalent is in the third column. So I am going to mention the standard English and you will be giving me its Singlish equivalent. I know you can do it. Let's begin. Sit, sit. Bed, bad. Cart, cut, caught, caught. Full, full. Now let's do the SAP diphthongs. In contrast to monophthongs, diphthongs involve a change in quality during the vowel. Standard Southern British has 8 diphthongs. SAP has the same number of items, but 2 of these diphthongs tend to be pronounced as long monophthongs. The SSB A in face and O as in nose might in SAP be transcribed as A and O. Now let's have this exercise. You can do it. In this SAP diphthongs exercise, we will be learning how to produce the sound of face and day in Singlish equivalent. So we have here the sound of A becomes A. You know the long monophthong. Face. In Singlish, it becomes face. Day. In Singlish, day. I will be giving the standard English and you will be giving me the Singlish version or the equivalent. You can do it. Number 1, face. Nice. Next, day. Wow, thank you for that. This time we have the O as in nose and low and its Singlish equivalent. Nose, nose, low, low. How about that? It's your turn. I will be giving the standard English of nose and low and you'll be giving me the Singlish equivalent. You can do it. Nose. Nice. Low. Let me repeat that. Low. Wow, thank you so much. Now we have the consonant pronunciation drill. The letter L tends to be lost after the back vowels. For example, we have these words: pal, roll, tool, pearl. So, getting lost of the letter L, let's try. I will be giving the standard English and you will be giving me the Singlish. Pal, roll, tool, pearl. Nice. The consonant R should be lost as well. The next exercise emphasizes on the dental fricatives. In Singlish, the th becomes th only. Th, like 3, it is 3. Think, it is think. Repeat after me. 3. Think. Well done. This one, the schwa sound is t, not the, like then. It becomes den in Singlish. Leather, it's leda. Father, fada. It's your turn. I will be giving you the standard English and you will be giving me the Singlish. Then, leather, father. Nice. Congratulations. Here are the references that I use for this topic presentation. It's not in the APA style format, but it can help you. Thank you so much.